Hello, my name is Sean Farkas, and I'm here to talk to you about the concept of gender inequality in a classroom setting, specifically here at CU Boulder. Gender inequality has always been a prevalent factor in society throughout history, but how is it that after years of activism and reformation, gender stratification still somehow manages to coexist with contemporary norms today? Gender inequality is not only unethical, but burdensome on its victims as well. In order to gain a deeper insight on the subject of gender inequality in our classrooms, I've spoken to a few current CU students that have been kind enough to share their own personal experiences on the subject. The first person we will hear from is Indigo Vanzini. Indigo is a freshman here at CU Boulder and is originally from Los Angeles. In my interview with her, I asked her if there had ever been any times where she had experienced unfair treatment that she suspected was because of her gender. She then recalled a previous experience of hers while still in high school.
I had this one project I did with two other male classmates, and we all turned in the exact same copy. However, when I got my grade back, I noticed that I was marked down for a problem, even though my male classmates weren't. I brought this up with my teacher, and he just said that I didn't show enough work and that my answer wasn't properly formatted.
While although small in nature, these things occur fairly often and commonly go unnoticed in our classrooms, which, after time, can become burdensome and detrimental towards the students. Upon being treated unfairly, students oftentimes lose interest in the class and fall behind on their work since they feel less motivated to invest their effort. When asked if Indigo was affected by her experiences, she claimed that she was frustrated and that her grades began to fall.
Whenever I raised my hand to answer a question, my teacher wouldn't call on me. He would then write in my report that I didn't participate enough in class, which really frustrated me because I was trying so hard.
Later on in the interview, I then asked Indigo if she had experienced any of the same treatment here on campus.
I haven't experienced it personally, but I've definitely heard from other girls that they've experienced it. It's certainly present here, and in all honesty, it's pretty disturbing that this kind of stuff still exists today.
Even though Indigo has never personally experienced gender inequality here on campus, she claims that it does still exist, and she's right. The next person we'll hear from is student Aaron Cummings, who has both noticed and experienced gender stratification firsthand. Erin is a PhD student, which led me to ask if she's ever noticed an uneven distribution in the amount of males and females in her classes. She recalls the fact that she was actually the only female in her class.
In my experience, yes. My master's degree is in history, and I was also the only female in that situation.
While although shocking, Erin's observation is not an outlier. Here at CU, only 30% of engineering, math, and science majors are female. This imbalance in gender distribution sets a standard for the kind of person that is expected to take an advanced or difficult field of study. This precedent, in turn, makes it easier for professors and classmates alike to be prejudiced towards the female minority. In my interview with Erin, I asked her if she had ever experienced any sort of treatment similar to what Indigo had described.
I had a professor that I was working with, and I did my thesis on the Twilight Zone, which is pretty masculine. It's like science fiction. We wouldn't usually associate that with women. And he literally said to me, you're studying the Twilight Zone, but you're a woman. How could you do that? You don't want to study, a sitcom from the 50s or something. That's what he was sort of all about. He was just shocked that I wasn't looking at I Love Lucy or something.
Erin then went on to describe how it made her feel afterwards, specifically towards the professor.
Oh, I hated that guy. He was a very old school, old man professor, and I just thought, this guy needs to get with the times. So I did not like him. So he didn't even take the time at all to care what I was studying, or tailor the exam to me at all. So I just don't think he had any interest in me at all as a woman.
Obviously, our education system and even society as a whole faces a serious dilemma that needs to be immediately addressed. In a world where women are told not to get dirty and are discouraged from tackling complex sciences, how could gender equality even begin to exist, especially from an educational standpoint? Change needs to happen, and it needs to happen soon.